Welcome to the channel. My name is Grant Tommy. This is Straight Six Fan, where I like to focus on budget-minded, relatable, creative builds, a little something I like to call offbeat hot rodding, helping you build your hot rod and your confidence. And I'm trying something new today. I'm going to call it 5-Minute Friday. I don't know how long this special is going to last. You mean how many times I do it over. This might be the only one. We'll see if it's a hit or a flop. But I mean it to be a little bit like an editorial style, where I can kind of just sound off on something related to what we like to do here, offbeat hot rodding, as well as maybe give you a little bit of an update in between episodes, my normal Sunday episode. So with that, we'll pick up where we left off in my last video. Of course, it was round 2 of break struggles with Project Low Fairmont, and I just wanted to say thanks to all of the people who left a comment, giving me a suggestion. Tonight, this is actually Wednesday night, I hunted down that banjo fitting in the back to see if I could get that flange up against the caliper, and I had it installed the right way. I went back to one of my older videos and looked at it and found a clip where, before I disassembled it, those flanges actually were pointed up as I have them installed. Also, the hoses just won't bend. It just feels totally unnatural to bend them to try to get them to do anything different or snake it over the top of the caliper. Just point is, trust me, they're installed correctly. So at least for one thing, we eliminated that as a variable. I also did confirm on at least the passenger side rear that the piston and the pads were closed in on the rotor. So we know we're getting fluid back there. We know the brake is working, at least back there. So anyway, I think the facts are pointing more towards it's probably a junk master cylinder, but we'll eventually someday get that figured out. So what I want to talk to you guys about today has to do with, I've been watching a lot of Uncle Tony's Garage lately. As you guys all know, I'm mostly a Ford guy, but I've been really enjoying a lot of Uncle Tony's Garage's content recently because of his Slant 6 build. Of course, he already had kind of rebuilt one, but now he's really getting into, I think he wants to run, 11s with a Slant 6, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, in one of his most recent uploads, he talked about, how hot rodding is an art. And it's not that nobody's ever said that before. I'm sure he's not the first. But it's just the way he said it, the way his dialogue kind of was. And if you want to go watch that, I'll leave an info card up here. But it just really resonated with me. And he kind of went on to say, it's an art for us to suit our own purpose, or as I like to say, suit your personality. That's exactly what this is. That's what I love for me about the offbeat hot rodding, is it's a way to express my personality. It's me on 4 wheels, and it's another thing he talks about too in that video is kind of setting unrealistic goals as part of this craziness that we do, and I think there's something to that, because if you don't put it a little bit further out of reach than what you think is actually possible, sometimes that just, even though you might not reach that goal, that's going to help get you a lot further than you would have initially thought if you were realistic. So anyway, but this 1978 Ford Fairmont, this is my personality, to a T. I've always been just kind of, as a middle child, it's like, you always talk about the oldest, or you always talk about the youngest. Nobody's like, hey, my middleest child. I've kind of just grown up always thinking about the people or the things that get overlooked, and kind of, what do I see in those people? What do I see in those things? How can I potentially push the limits on perception of those things? And that's not to say that I'm going to pull it off and this is going to be universally cool to everybody, but if people weren't trying to build things like a 1978 Ford Fairmont, we would all just see the same thing over and over and over again, like we already do at car shows. So that's going to do it for this episode. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed these 5 minutes for 5-Minute Friday. If If you want a straight 6-fan Pistons tee or a 30/60s 198 Slant 6 inspired t-shirt, link to my Spreadshirt store below. That's going to do it for this episode. Till next time, peace out.